on nominating committee for this year's slate of officers or officers. Thanks for helping out on this. And so we'll make a call for the for this meeting, and I guess we're looking for a second.
Second.
All right.
And I can do a quick roll call for
Okay.
attendance. Committee Chair Rencia.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Rivera.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Burnsworth.
Here.
Thank you. And Commissioner Zellberman.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, turn the meeting back to you, Committee Chair Rencia.
Okay, everybody. So do we just want to get right into it and figure out if we're going to just vote for a slate or any other process issues we want to go ahead and flesh out right now?
Well, I was just wondering, would you like to talk about our impressions of what we heard at the last meeting from the different candidates and so on, and then that could segue into whatever the nominations might be?
Okay, I'm good with that. Who wants to start?
Well, I'll tell you the truth. I was impressed with my goodness, I'm having a senior moment here, where our present vice chair really focused on everybody individually and what they did and so on, and that showed me that she thinks out of the box, and also it was impressive. Here again, what does the person in the vice chair's position do, which isn't very much other than consult with the chair, I would think, and give them their input. And but I was impressed with that. I'm also impressed with the backgrounds of every individual that is running. I think they got a great resume. Each and every one could be good at it. My basic concern, though, especially with somebody like Beatrice, is that she is involved in so many different things, so many different organizations, so many different groups, that I wonder, how if you're spreading yourself too thin. Other than that, those are my comments for the vice chair. The chair's position, I've seen what Sylvia has done. I know that she spent a lot of time 24/7 on this commission. My only concern would be if Rabbi would have that much time to also commit to the commission as she has.
Yes, and maybe even more. Maybe even more.
Oh, okay. So those are my only concerns and critiques.
Joe?
Luis, I agree with you. I was really impressed with what Ginger said and the number of hours that she documents and gives the commission. I was blown away when she said that she logged 1,500 hours of time for this commission, and how she identified the strengths of each person in attendance at the commission. I agree with you about Bee. She's so busy and has so many passions that and she gives a lot of time, but I think that what she does with us is her real strength, which is those public forums and her work with her community. Likewise, I was impressed with the passion of Carla Hazeltine. And I know that she She's not been on the commission as long, but what I love about Carla is her honesty and her willingness, especially as a young commissioner, to take on, take on so many roles, leadership roles with the commission.
Yes.
So, and so those are my thoughts on vice chair. And I think we have two fine candidates for chair, and I think that Sylvia's done an excellent job in that role as well. So we've seen her commitment and her power as a HRC liaison with other committees, especially during this turbulent time. So those are my thoughts.
And the rabbi, do you have anything to add?
Well, let me say, if I'm nominated, I pledge not to serve more than 2 years. I think we have to allow others to participate in serving in the higher positions. As some of you know, I've been with the commission for 8 years. I'm finishing up my 8th year. And at different phases of those 8 years, we have had different emphases. And I think that you know by now what I do for human rights within the commission, locally, regionally, nationally, and around the world. So my commitment is not to ask to serve more than 2 years, to allow others to serve. My sense was last year when we really gave Sylvia the the chairmanship on a silver platter, if you remember, Giorgio, because of the pandemic and other things. The sense was, not to contest her continuing. But I think that after 2 years, we ought to allow others to be there at the helm. And again, I pledge not to serve more than 2 years if nominated and elected. And of course, I represent a small segment of the community, but a segment that is under attack. Anti-Semitism is wild all over. And I think that to nominate me would send a very strong message, I believe. I'm told by all those who are involved with human rights and with American democracy that I am a leading figure as far as my contribution overall in that regard. And Regina Mobley refers to me whenever she interviews me, which is quite often, as Hampton Roads champion of human rights. I'm son of Holocaust survivors. I spent my early childhood as a refugee. I see myself as a bridge of healing. Because of this background, I became a Reform rabbi 47 years ago and dedicated every day of my life to interfaith, to building bridges. As you know, locally, I'm honorary senior rabbi scholar at Eastern Shore Chapel Episcopal Church. My present congregation of Temple Lev Tikva, Heart of Hope, meets at the Church of the Holy Apostles, the only church in the world that is both Episcopal and Roman Catholic. With my previous congregation, I served for 31 years. 10 years of those were spent in the most gracious Catholic Church of the Ascension. I am a past chair of the Community Relations Council of the Jewish community of Tidewater. I served 3 terms as president of the Tidewater Board of Rabbis and Cantors. I served as a national board member of the Jewish Council of Public Affairs, which is the roof organization for the entire American Jewish community. And I was for 5 years the interfaith chair, which meant coordinating policy for the entire American Jewish community that numbers around 6 million fellow Jews. So though I was raised in Israel, when we arrived after spending my early childhood in DP camps in Austria and Germany, and before that, after a successful escape from Poland, where we arrived there from Kazakhstan, was Russian territory. In 1946, I was with my family among those who felt that our lives were at risk, and they were, because about 1,500 Jews were murdered in Poland. As they came home, and what I said, commentary on human nature, so early on, I got the drive to serve and to really respond to the greatest tragedy of our times, the Holocaust, in a way that brings everyone closer to one another. I've worked closely with the African American community, with all communities, in many, many roles and functions. And you know, I have that strong sense of mission, and also that we ought to allow others to serve in leadership roles. As Giorgio said, I witnessed a very difficult experience of nominations last time around, and it really was not an easy experience to go through. Giorgio knows about it. So here we stand. I love every commissioner. They all have great skills and abilities, so it's not a matter of one is better than the other, but it's more recognizing that each of us has some unique features to offer, and we have to really be considerate of fellow commissioners. After this, finishing up my 8th year, I think that my local experience, regional, national, international, well qualifies me to serve in this capacity. I am known throughout Hampton Roads as a spokesperson, and you know, there's no human rights issue where I'm absent from.
Rabbi, what
Yeah.
what are your impressions of the vice chair candidate?
Well, I tell you, I love them all, but I must say, in fact, if you remember, Giorgio, last time around, I was rooting for Beatrice, you know, because truly she is remarkable in all that she does, and I try to promote her candidacy, but that was not accepted by everyone, obviously. At the same time, I must tell you that I'm very, very impressed by Carla. She brings fresh, new energy. She's extremely capable, and I think you can trust her with any assignment she undertakes. And I think that from time to time we have to allow rising stars to be there in leadership positions. We're really blessed with so many people. Not everyone wants to serve as vice chair or as president, because this is more exposure, you know, to the public at large, and it's not easy to be in leadership positions. But I would, at this time, my conscience leads me to recommend Carla for this position.
Okay. So now we have a conundrum. Conundrum of what we do with chair, and can you submit 2 names for each, or is that copying out?
Yeah, I guess I would just lead to a floor vote, right, Dominique? If we did something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we wouldn't be providing a slate. We would just say.
You would just say that you couldn't come to consensus on chair or vice chair, and these are the nominees that will be voted on.
Yeah, under our current bylaws, the committee can submit a slate or not a slate, but not multiple candidates for each office.
Oh.
But let's say we voted and we came up with we agreed on one but not the other. Can we do that and just present the one that was not agreed upon, Dominique?
So you're saying?
Let's say we didn't agree on the chair, but we did agree. Well, we have 3 votes.
Right. Yeah. So you could say, you know, here's the nominee, the slate for nominee for chair that we determined, but we weren't able to come to consensus on vice chair. So, you know, the nominees stand as is for voting for the June election. Right. Yes. Right. Yes.
Okay, what are you guys, gents, on that? You want to just vote?
I'm sorry?
Do you want to just go ahead and vote for vice and then for chair, or are we not wanting to put forward a slate and we can vote on that as well and say we're gonna leave it to the floor? We do need 10 votes at the next meeting if we do it that way.
Yeah,
10
that
votes.
would roll over
Yeah.
until somebody says.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And if we did it that way, Dominique, we would do 10 votes until the person that got the least votes would drop out and you'd re-vote.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, what do we think, gents? I'm open to voting for a slate. That's me.
And what's the slate that you propose?
I'm gonna vote for the chair, the incumbent right now, and I'm gonna vote for Peters.
Oh,
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, it's public, so this is the only way we can vote. So that's
Joe,
what. But if we
what do you think?
if we vote not to put forward a slate, that's the vote.
So Joe, what do you propose?
I'm thinking. I'm thinking. Where I'm torn is vice chair between Ginger and Carla.
Yeah.
And so that's where I'm really torn right now. I think our leadership has good synergy currently. So I think I would say, and where I see where understand where Rabbi talks about term limits. The first term that Sylvia had was thrust upon her. She didn't run for that. It was given to her due to other situations, or landed in her lap due to other situations. And I happened to be presenting at her first meeting after that landed in her lap. And so I think that I think I would go with the current officers, stay with the current slate of officers, the incumbents.
I would agree with Joe.
Okay. So we have a consensus then, correct, Dominique?
So Rabbi cannot, since he isn't a nominee for chair, he cannot vote for chair, but vice chair he could.
Good. Okay. Rabbi.
Carla for vice chair.
Okay. So we have a consensus then.
So it looks like you have a consensus for, because we have three, out of the three who can vote for chair, three are saying Sylvia. For vice chair, we have two for Ginger, one Beatrice, one Carla. So vice chair is it's actually more tied.
Ginger.
Yeah.
Ginger, right?
Ginger.
Okay.
Two.
So we could present that, and then they can still, nominate.
They can still, yeah, Rabbi can still come on from the floor.
Yeah.
And so can Carla, and
Right.
Mm-hmm.
and I agree with a lot of the comments. I just think in this particular time, I think I have to go with Joe on this in terms of there is synergy there, and let them finish it off, and then hopefully the next year we'll have some blood.
Okay.
So let me ask you this. If I am not nominated from the floor to serve, given everything that you know, do you see me as a viable candidate a year from now when Sylvia retires?
Yeah, then it's open territory. Yeah.
And of course, it depends upon who is in the nominating committee, because
Or,
makes
I
a
mean,
difference,
like I
my friend.
say, anyone can step up and say, hey, I want to run. Shoot, I could step up and say, I want to be chairman or vice chair.
I will vote for you, my brother. I'll vote for you.
No, I have no interest whatsoever, please.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think after that, there's no problem at all.
Okay, I'm going to spend the month of June in Israel. I'm due to leave on June 1st. My mom, who is a Holocaust survivor since age 17 from the Ukraine, turned 100 last October, and we could not go and celebrate with her. And she called me telling me that her life is at risk and she needs to see me desperately. So I currently plan to spend a month with her. Hopefully she will continue living, but there's no guarantee right now.
Right.
And I will try to reach the committee meeting from Israel. I may have some challenges with that, unless I decide not to contest it at this time and wait for next year to come, and then.
Right.
What's your sense on it? How do you see that, my friends? This is a little bit awkward for me. As a liberal rabbi, they vote on the rabbi. I've survived 47 years of voting on me, and it's not an easy process, especially when it's done in the open manner in which we do it, I felt that when you elect council members, there's a secret ballot. And I thought the same should apply to the way we nominate each other. I think it's damaging to the very core of human menschlichkeit, and even the rights, I would say, to ever done openly like that, pitting one commissioner against the next.
Yeah. I agree, and I think that we have to come up with some kind of a better system. But because we are on video right now, we're stuck because it's not like we can send paper ballots or anything through the internet.
The FOIA laws require that elections be open.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
The transparency is good too.
Yeah, that maybe that we ought to work on it for the future's sake. I think that this might prevent some very fine candidates from wanting to go through this kind of a process, which, to be honest about, is not a healthy process. Not a healthy process.
Okay. So,
and I served on so many commissions through the years. I've never seen something that done like that, my friends. I know there's always the risk and possibility that those on the nominating committee are close to certain people more so than others. And I know, I'm well aware of that. I'm well aware of it. And as I said earlier, Sylvia was given the second year on a silver platter with, if you remember, Giorgio, the point was made then, and you yourself made it. He said, if it's okay with you, let us not make any changes because of the pandemic situation. So, so she was not faced with opposition, and opposition can be a very healthy process. Sylvia also served in the past as a chair. That's another important point, my friends. Now, I'm fond of Sylvia and I'm fond of others, but each of us brings a certain uniqueness from our own experiences, and each of us enriches in a very unique way depending upon our past and our skills, etc., etc. So I would not have offered my candidacy unless I felt that I would introduce a certain freshness and a certain recognition of the community of who I am and the wide reach that I have all the way to Congress. I've been just told that 78 articles of mine have been placed on congressional record by now, which is a record. And my visits in high places give me a certain feeling for the larger picture, my friends, which is so critical today. We are interconnected. What happens in Virginia Beach affects events in D.C. and around the world, and vice versa. So, I think it behooves us to also think beyond Virginia Beach sometimes. And I just know, for example, when I wrote an op-ed piece in the pilot about the tragedy of May 31st here in town, and Congresswoman Luria put in congressional record. It was published here locally, was picked up by other news outlets. I'm practically everywhere in a way that, with all due respect, I don't think that any other candidate has had the opportunity to do what I've been able to do. So it just so happened, maybe because of my particular background, my communication abilities, that I've achieved a certain national standing that others have not yet had the opportunity.
Well,
Okay.
Rabbi, you can share that, at the meeting.
Yeah. But with all due respect, I appreciate your decision, but it is disappointing to me that you cannot rise above certain things and be willing to be a little bit more open.
Yeah, but no. Also, that there's three of y'all that are going to be disappointed. It's a tough decision. I mean, we're all weighing different factors in how we vote, and
some of us are connected to Sylvia in a personal way. I think, Giorgio, you're one of them.
yeah, we're close.
It was clear to me before, and with all due respect, I like you and appreciate you, but we have to remember that sometimes we have to go beyond these personal attachments.
Oh, I wouldn't vote for. Believe me, and Sylvia knows I can separate the personal and professional. I would not vote for just because she's my buddy.
Well.
I don't want that we vote on this situation and cut off the discussion because again, Rabbi.
But I'm saying we have to recognize that I've been with it for 8 years, and I've seen what's happening. I've served in lots of commissions and boards, and we have to learn to overcome sometimes a certain personal attachment from the past to a certain candidate. With all due respect.
And you can nominate yourself on the floor,
Mm-hmm.
Rabbi.
I know.
Nobody's going to stop.
I want to share with you, after 8 years of serving in the commission, my profound disappointment.
I understand.
Okay, so where do we move from here?
Okay, so Dominique, I guess you'll release this in the email, and then they can contact
Right. So if you want to, like we did with the last meeting, if you want to draft something, or we can draft it together and then send it out through email, just to present the slate of Sylvia as chair and Ginger as vice chair.
Okay, I'll write that up. Right we get out, and I'll send it to you, and then you can put your edits on it.
Okay.
And then can you forward it to the rest of the group?
That's exactly what I'll do. Yeah, I'll just say it's on behalf of the nominating committee and send it on to the whole commission at large.
Thank you, Dominique.
Okay, and so if you want to, if you guys are all set, nothing.
I want to, if somebody was hurt by my words, I apologize, but I've been at it for a long time, and after 47 years of being an active rabbi on all levels, I feel that sometimes colleagues and friends ought to be honest about certain things.
That's fair.
All right, so if there's no more discussion or comment, you can go ahead and join the meeting if you
okay, I'll make a motion to close this meeting for today, and I guess we're looking for a second.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, then meeting has been adjourned. All you gentlemen have a great weekend.
Thanks, everybody.
You too.
Thanks, Dominique.
You're welcome.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you all.
Bye.